Hello there, and we're hoping you're having a fantastic start to your day. This is the Morning Cafe. My name is Eric Munene, sitting in for Linda Alela.
And I am Muthoni Minor.
Well, let's make this show interactive. At TV47KE is our Twitter handle, at Eric_Mnene. Also, you can text us on 22047. Let's talk, let's keep engaging as we tackle the issues of the day. Muthoni,
Absolutely.
a lot has been happening from, the red alerts being issued against lawyer Miguna. Unfortunately, there was the incident about, the teacher who was allegedly murdered at the coast in Diani. Our reporter Elizabeth Atieno is following up on that. A lot has been happening. We'll keep talking about these issues, politics, sports, business, and everything in between.
Yes.
So we go right to it. Quick look at what made the headlines
today at the Daily Nation. We have the pay boom for civil servants and teachers, which is, definitely amazing for them. They are the biggest winners in this. In Uhuru's final year, the Teachers Service Commission will receive an extra 15 billion for pay rise and hiring of new teachers, while civil servants are also set for a salary increment.
And this is quite interesting. This is happening after, the former Secretary General of the Kenya National Union of Teachers, Wilson Sosion, who's also a member of Parliament, was apparently kicked out. That is what he says. And some goodies are coming for the teachers. Some big news. A top US official is going to be visiting today, so you might want to plan your itinerary to avoid being caught in traffic jams. What the top US official visit means for Kenya and Africa in general. The US Secretary of State Antony Blinken will be arriving in Nairobi today to push for what he called shared global priorities with African nations, but it may also signal the return of what is called President Joe Biden's actual policy for Africa.
Absolutely. And also this revives calls for democracy and human rights as well on that. So also on to some of the political matters, as we can see, Ruto takes on Odinga allies in the Mount Kenya region.
Yes, that was quite interesting. The Deputy President, William Ruto, actually addressing the crowd in Sheng, telling the Meru governor, that is Kiraitu Murungi, wache kutubeba ufala. Apparently, he was saying, the governor, the DP was alleging that the governor is trying to force a particular candidate on the people of Meru, and so that did not go down well with him. So, he had to do what he had to do. He said, wache kutubeba ufala. An interesting story here. Yesterday was the ex-head of state Mwai Kibaki's birthday, 90th birthday. Yes, it's quite interesting that he's celebrated his birthday by reading.
Remember him for definitely the Uhuru Highway. And plenty of, the highway, and also plenty of more the economic development, the infrastructure, everything in between he has done. He did plenty for Kenya as to where we are as of now.
Let me be a bit frank with you. During the 10 years that Kibaki ruled the country, well, at the tail end of his presidency, I was a reporter attending some of the major celebrations that he officiated. And what I remember him for is when he went off the cuff, when he'd put his speech, the papers aside, and go off the cuff and start talking in Kiswahili and speaking in Kiswahili rather, and say all these things. It was very, very funny. Some of the things I can't say right here on live television, but we do
remember him for so many things.
So And this is an interesting topic we're going to be tackling today. It's on climate change crisis. This is on page 2 of the Daily Nation. With climate change, the onus is on all of us to do something. I'll be joined by a climate expert, climate change expert. We'll be tackling this issue of climate change and what it really means for Kenya. It's also interesting that, you know, the big economies in the world did not want to come up with a deal that would, you know, prevent the climate change from taking a drastic turn, but it was well, they had to come up with a deal, and we're going to be tackling that in depth. We'll get more details about what the deal is all about and what they achieved, and what it means for Kenya and Africa at large. At large,
absolutely.
So, move on to page 4. This is the story we're talking about. Ruto accusing Mount Kenya leaders backing Raila of lying to voters. The DP said that those fronting the Orange Democratic Movement party leader were duping residents. And Governor Kiraitu Murungi, according to the deputy president, should know that we are no longer fools. I don't know why he said that.
Really a strong statement coming from him. Meaning that he has definitely noted some things that are going on in the political sector, and he wants that cleared out for there to be a fair ground when it comes to, you know, a free and fair elections come next year.
Yeah, the article there by David Muchui, you can see the picture there of the DP yesterday in a rally at Gako Romone Market in Meru town. And then some good news about us. Union warns against hostility to journalists in political rallies. I mean, why should the messenger? Why would people do this? I mean, it's quite sad. I've seen journalists being attacked in political rallies. Some have to actually go undercover, you know, to maintain their safety, and it is quite sad. The union here, that is the Kenyan Union of Journalists, has said that the harassment of Nation journalist Mwangi Mweruri at the Deputy President William Ruto's event in Murang'a on Sunday has sparked protests, and which now wants, the KUJ now wants politicians held responsible for attacks on scribes by, politicians' bodyguards. So Ever been harassed at an event, Mudhoni?
It has never happened to me, and I hope that it will never happen. But, you know, we never know with what is, with what might turn out to be maybe someday, but I hope that will never happen.
But it's part of the job. You better be prepared.
It is, because, you know, at the end of the day, our pens are our weapons.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they are more powerful than guns. Another interesting story there, it's still a political one, on the Daily Nation. Well, where'd that go to?
Just, right.
Okay, as we try to get what is on the papers on the Daily Nation, we'll get back to that in a few. Let's cross over to the Standard. This is what made it to the top. The front page: Ministry clears barrier to varsity dream careers. It's also an interesting read. Teachers are the biggest beneficiaries of changes in a degree requirement, where good grades in a key subject will open opportunities for students to pursue courses of their choice. The key subject here being mathematics or mathematics.
Mathematics, as they put it. Yes. And also from the peach to the dock there, we've seen, FKF President Nick Mwendwa, yesterday was released on a cash bill of 4 million Kenya shillings. Mwendwa means beloved. So maybe he might be a little bit lucky. Okay. I might say that.
I remember we had a conversation about this in the newsroom, and it's quite interesting. We might think that it's all done for Mwendwa, but interestingly, the World Football Governing Body, FIFA, recognizes Mwendwa and not the sports CS, and they've written a protest letter. They want Mwendwa reinstated. We were having this conversation. We want to see how this will turn out.
Absolutely.
And as you mentioned during the introduction, no entry for Miguna again. He will not be boarding to Kenya.
He's definitely still waiting for a copy on that red alert that was issued yesterday. So we're yet to, get to see how that will definitely turn out.
Yeah, on page 4 of the Standard, here is now what you need to know about the move about teachers not requiring to have a degree or a diploma, to pass math rather, to get a degree or a diploma in teaching. These are the current requirements. If they are graded, if it is ECDE, the minimum of CPE or KCPE plus ECD certificate from NEC, the minimum mid-grade of D plus at KCSE and DCDE certificate from NEC. Those are the current requirements. But all this is going to be changed. There's going to be a system overhaul. We want to see what happens. And still on matters education, right there at the corner, admission requirements, varsities brace for students influx as criteria has been reviewed.
As universities and colleges are faced with a possible strain in their resources as the government eases qualification, requirements for degree courses, still on the same issue.
Yeah, definitely. We cross over to page 5.
Page 5.
Yes, strike at your own peril. Egerton Boss tells lecturers. So 500 lecturers wanted to go on strike of unpaid dues, but the vice chancellor has told them, you want to hit the streets, do it. But
just do it.
Yeah, do it. Then you know what? Mwende mkiendanga.
But at times when you're told these things, as you get to take a step back and you're like, should I go or should I stay? And at the end of the day, you find yourself still in the same institution, grappling with whatever is happening. So yeah, we'll definitely get to see how that goes.
And this way it gets quite confusing. You see, we talked about a pay boom for civil servants and teachers on the front page of the Daily Nation. Then on page, is it 9? Page 5 of the Standard. So apparently these lecturers are not going to be remunerated according to the vice chancellor, but they have some good representation. I can see there's some who are under the Kenya University Staff Union, that is KUSU, and then the Kenya Union of Domestic Hotels, Educational Institutions, Hospitals and Allied Workers, KUDAIHA. So we hope their union leaders are going to negotiate a good deal for them. Let's hope they get something good. Everybody goes home smiling.
Absolutely. And also, as we can see, maybe on page 9, DCI offers 60 million Kenya shillings for the arrest of terror suspects who fled. So, this is yet another prison break.
I mean,
what is going on?
I don't know. And this is the country's most secure prison facility.
And as of now, you get into question, is it really?
Yeah, I was watching how this was covered by different media houses, and that's the one question that I could not get an answer to. How did this happen? So apparently there's foul play or ingenuity in the mystery of committees during prison break. The Commissioner General of, I think this is prisons, not police. That is a mistake.
Yeah.
So the Commissioner General of Prisons, that's Ogalo, says that he said that the escape is an unfortunate incident.
At the end of the day, seriously, 3 terror suspects just out there in the public domain, and all there is for someone to say is that it is an unfortunate incident.
So yeah, I don't know if the director can project this on your screens. These are their faces: Mohammed Ali Abekar, Joseph Juma Odhiambo, and Musharraf Abdallah alias Shukri. Those are the terror suspects who did that daring thing yesterday at committee. But I think heads should roll. Heads should roll here.
They should, absolutely.
I mean, this is not something. This is not something. There are mistakes. If I spill tea on your paper, Mudhoni, I'll be like, oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
go get another paper. Go get another newspaper. There are suspects. I mean, what?
I know, right? And also on that, on matters of what has in the projects of Uhuru Kenyatta, there's a road project that was launched by Uhuru back in 2016, and up till now it has stalled. This is definitely on page 23.
Page 23.
Yes, page 23. It was the contractor said that it will definitely be due in the next 24 months in the year 2016, but up till now nothing has been done. Economic development is definitely on a standstill.
Yeah.
And there's, I mean, it's not only about the road project. There are so many projects that are on hold.
Yep.
And already we have the subsidiaries, the funds have been released. But, still on the ground, nothing has been done. Also looking at, in matters of the drought mitigation. In the Mashjade, President Uhuru Kenyatta, told the CS Ukuriatani to release 1.5 billion Kenya shillings for the drought relief in the most drought-affected counties, but
nothing has happened
up till now. So how many more projects are we yet to see on a standstill? This is definitely the last term or tenure for President Uhuru Kenyatta. So
an interesting thing here, my friend Gado has done the thing again. Gado has this is a serious indictment to journalists on that cartoon that is on page 18. Opinion, on the opinion page and editorial page. There is a cartoon there by Gado. You can see the deputy president's motorcade there, and he's dishing out cash. And there's a journalist there apparently asking, aren't we supposed to be covering the event? And there's another one, her colleague, saying, but we are covering it. What do you think about this? Is this really true? Is this really what is happening on the ground?
Well, with the report that was there yesterday, that is definitely what is happening. Money.
Yeah.
Money talks.
But then again, my producer says that yes, people are fighting for Ruto's money, deputy president's money. But then again, I'm thinking, come on, it can't be journalists. Come on, it can't be this bad Gado. Surely, it can't really this. Gado is my friend, but this is really unfair to us. Really, really unfair to us. Anyway,
I'm sure you've never had a brown envelope, given to you when it comes to this. Covering such events.
I have never.
You've never.
I have never. You can check my.
You said this live on television that you have never received a brown envelope.
I have never received any brown.
So when we get receipts, you're sure we won't find receipts of you anywhere of you
Definitely.
receiving? Are you?
Go ahead.
Fine.
Go ahead.
Just remember that we have this, recorded live.
That's sawa. But I'm sure you can send some monies from, putting me on the spot like that. Really, really unfair. But yeah, Gado there. So, still on politics, big shots who shaped coast politics but are now out of scene. Former nominated MP Rashid Sajjad, former cabinet minister Noah Katanangala, and former Likoni MP Suleiman Shekombo, and the chairman of Mombasa County Council of Elders Mohamed Jahazi. These are the men who shaped the coast politics but now are out of the political scene since they have retired from active politics, and most of them have disappeared from public limelight to the exit of former President Daniel Moi. I don't want to say they were hangers-on of the former president, but I mean, he had a lot of strong men who really depended on him, and since he, exited the political scene, they followed suit. And I think it's good for some of them. I think it's peaceful, just retreating to your place at home, Shago.
So tell me, if you are a politician and after you're done with your term, you'll definitely just go back home and just...
I think yes, I would, unless it will be, offering mentorship to upcoming politicians or giving my professional opinion, like what Barack Obama did even after retiring at the COP26 summit in Scotland.
Yeah,
I will do that, but on a fee.
On a fee.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
how much will you be paid? You have to say this right here because we may never be sure about tomorrow.
Are you really putting me on the spot today, Modoni? What did I do to you? Time not to go to the People Daily, see what the People Daily has on the front page. At the very, very top, parents bear the brunt of fires, more schools closed. It's quite sad. We'll take a look at what that story has in store for us. Mwendwa freed but banned from football management, and as I've told you, it's not really over for Mwendwa until it's
really
over. And then
the beloved one.
Yeah, the beloved one.
Yeah.
So Miguna's return ends in Germany. I feel for him, I've got to say. But,
absolutely. But do you have any sentiments? You know, maybe if he gets a chance to come back to Kenya, are there any fears on that, or should we just leave it as it is for now?
Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
All right.
The headline, police on hand for committee terrorists. Prison break, the 3 convicted men scaled a wall to escape the maximum security prison, with officers promising to pay 60 million shillings for information on them. When they say they scaled a wall, have you ever seen that wall? I've gone to cover stories at committee, and trust you me, that wall, scaling it requires, I don't know, some kind of expertise that this is not just any other wall. And that's why I'm still in shock.
I know, right?
Yeah. And that story is on page 5 of the People Daily. Grab your copy and get an in-depth coverage of it. Reprieve for students seeking to join university. The biggest beneficiaries include students seeking to pursue bachelor's degree courses in education, agriculture, fashion and design. And the new changes will see Kiswahili accepted as an alternative for English for students seeking to pursue a Bachelor of Education science degree program. The changes will also see mathematics removed as a minimum subject requirement for students seeking to pursue a Bachelor of Education arts degree program.
But you know, having mathematics, you know, being veered off a little bit is kind of a reprieve, because you know, back then mathematics wasn't easy, and it's still not easy. Well, maybe I should be speaking for myself on that part.
Mathematics.
Pana hapo labda kwa pesa, lakini when it comes to
money, you're good
money,
at it.
it's okay.
Everything
that I
else,
can do.
You hear what the producer just said?
Nadi.
What? Just say that. Oh my God. Okay.
I just had to.
Yeah, at least Mary didn't get an E, and congratulations, Mary, by the way. You're doing a fantastic work. So, on Newsbeat, that's page 6, the Nairobi race puts strain on Jubilee ODM deal. I understand that Jubilee and ODM wanted a pre-election deal to front, one common candidate for various seats, but now we see there the Westlands MP Tim Wanyonyi, who's already, I can say that he's already the front runner even before the nominations are conducted within ODM. Understand the Nairobi senator, that is Johnson Sakaja, is also gunning for that same seat. Interestingly, today Anne Kananu, who has been the acting deputy governor, or rather the acting governor, is going to be sworn in today at 9 a.m. Our news team will be keeping a tab. We'll be keeping tabs on that, so we will tell you how it goes.
Absolutely.
Page 2 of we do this quite, haraka haraka. I understand we are out of time.
Yeah.
Embattled FKF boss freed but barred from office. Let me see what we have on page 4. Good news to students eyeing university slots. We've talked about that.
Yeah.
Then the manhunt for terror convicts on the run still scares me to the core. A story there by Zado Kangira. The DCI has since placed a 60 million reward to anyone with information that could lead to their arrest.
Absolutely. Now, as we've definitely come to a wrap of the newspaper highlights, and we'll definitely delve into these top stories, later on, as we've got plenty lined up ahead of you here on the Morning Cafe. Now, it is time to shift the focus into the news. Also, 3 terror suspects have escaped from committee maximum prison, according to a statement sent to the newsrooms by the Office of the Commissioner General of Prisons. The 3 who escaped from the prison at 1 a.m. have been identified as Joseph Juma Othiambo Mohammed Abdi alias Muhammad Ali Abikar and Musharraf Abdallah alias Shuk Shukri, the DCI has promised a reward of 60 million Kenya shillings to anyone with the information that may lead to the arrest of the terror suspects. This comes just days after President Uhuru Kenyatta warned security officers to be on high alert over the terror threats. Moving on, FKF President Nick Mwendwa was on Monday afternoon released by the Milimani law courts after spending 3 days behind bars for corruption allegations. Senior resident magistrate Wandia Nyamo granted him a 4 million Kenya shillings cash bail or a bond of 7 million Kenya shillings with 2 sureties, but barred him from accessing FKF offices, conducting media interviews and attending any football activities. Julius Juma with a report of Mwendwa's day in court.
A few minutes after 9 a.m. on Monday, beleaguered FKF President Nick Mwendwa was walked into Milimani law courts to answer to charges of corruption at the now disbanded federation. Mwendwa was flanked by a battery of lawyers composed of Makueni Senator Mutula Kilonzo Jr., Senior Counsel Professor Tom Ojenda, former Law Society of Kenya President Eric Mutua, and Dr. John Haminwa.
Finally,
the football honcho is being investigated in relation to fraudulent acquisition of public property amounting to millions of shillings, according to State Prosecutor Evelyn Onunga's submissions in court.
They are for usage in the interest of public, particularly in development of football games.
The DCI sought orders to detain Mwendwa for 14 days to complete investigations, with Onunga expressing her fears that the accused is likely to interfere with potential witnesses if freed by the court.
Employees of FKF who takes instructions directly from him, and these employees are our potential witnesses.
Senior resident magistrate Wandia Nyamo set Wednesday as the day for delivering the ruling on DCI's application for custodial orders, and instead granted the 42-year-old a 4 million shillings cash bail or a bond of 7 million shillings with 2 sureties.
I direct that the respondent, Mr. Nicholas Mwendwa Kithuku, be released on a bond of Kenya shillings 7 million with 2 sureties of similar amounts, or a cash bail of Kenya shillings 4 million and 2 contact persons.
The firebrand FKF boss has, however, been barred from accessing FKF offices, conducting media interviews and attending any football activities.
No access to his office or the building that houses FKF offices. Number 2, no access to all the workers of FKF. Number 3, no address to the media at all. Number 4, not to attend any football-related activities until the ruling of 17th November 2021 is delivered.
The world's football governing body, FIFA, has however expressed displeasure with the current impasse and called on the Kenyan government to reinstate the disbanded FKF or risk a ban. A letter by FIFA Secretary General Fatma Samora to Sports Cabinet Secretary Amina Mohamed says, and I quote, "I have also been made aware of the appointment by your office of a so-called caretaker committee, together with its own secretariat, in lieu of the elected FKF Executive Committee, whose president has been arrested." It goes on to say, FIFA and CAF are asking you to consider the reinstatement of the FKF Executive Committee as prior thereto. End of quote. The government seeks to unravel the mystery surrounding the use of over 550 million shillings wired to the Federation over the years as grants.
And the manner in which, in his opinion, which is entitled to, an unlawful committee has been constituted.
Reporting for TV47 from Milimani, Lokot, Nairobi, I'm Julius Juma.
Moving on, 13 students from Kerugoya Girls School in Kirinyaga County have been taken to Kerugoya Police Station for questioning following a fire that gutted down the dormitory in the school last night. This as political and religious leaders blamed parents following alleged misconduct among students at various schools in the country. Violet Auma reports.
According to Kirinyaga Central Deputy Commissioner Daniel Ndege, the 13 girls from Kerugoya Girls High School were picked for questioning as investigations kicks off.
Kwa hivyo hakuna kuonea huruma, sababu walikuwa wanataka kuangamiza hata wenzao, na kufikia leo tuko na wasichana kama 14 ambao wanasaidia kwa uchunguzi.
42 students who were receiving treatment at Kerugoya Level 4 Hospital after inhaling smoke were allowed to go home in stable condition while the school was closed indefinitely.
Vile walifanya hiyo kitendo, karibu wanafunzi 40 ambao walikuwa kwa dormitory wakati huo waliweza kupata shida ya kupumua, wakapelekwa hospitali, lakini wote waliruhusiwa kurudi.
And in Kakamega County, parents and Form 4 students at Kakamega High School who were expected to return to school today were forced to return home after being barred from entering the school.
Then why parents are not allowed to get inside the school even to see what actually happened? There's nothing taking place. My question, are we criminals? Why is the police present there? Seriously.
According to the parents that we spoke to, they were told only those who had paid 9,823 shillings meant for renovation of the burnt down dormitories were allowed in the school.
Lakini mimi siwezi nikakubaliana nao, juu sina mbele wala nyuma, nilikuwa nisha clear face. Kuongezea kwa hiyo siwezi ongezea ingine tena.
The communication was that we come with our children, accompanied by them. But now on reaching the gate, no parent is getting inside the school. The only thing they are doing, checking on the fee balances and the bank slip for the 9822. And that's all. Then parents told to go back home. The question is, why convenience my time? I can't agree. The money is too much.
The parents, some whom had come as far as Mombasa, have accused Education Ministry of turning a blind eye on the issue.
Magoha is chest stamping. He's not working with the people on the ground. If Magoha was working actually well with all the school principals and the school administration, such things could not have taken place.
Meanwhile, Butere Diocese Anglican Bishop Rose Okeno and Huisero Member of Parliament Christopher Seka have blamed parents for rampant cases of school unrest.
So when they come back home, we urge all parents to have time with their children. We know that those parents who, I would say, absentee parents, let parents have time with the children, talk to them, advise them, because at the end of the day, when they ban schools, when they ban, dormitories, for example, at the end of the day, it's the parent who suffers because they have to pay for them eventually.
Sisi kama wazazi pia tuko na jukumu la kuelekeza watoto wetu vizuri, kwa sababu mtoto hawezi choma shule kama ni mtoto ambaye anaelekezwa vizuri na wazazi. Lazima principals wapeane ile real figure. Juzi tumeona kule Kakamega High School mzazi anaitishwa pesa mingi sana. Ukiangalia ile damage ambayo imefanywa is not commensurate kwa ile pesa ambayo wazazi wanaitishwa.
Meanwhile, 9 students of Jamhuri High School in Nairobi have been arrested for questioning following a fire incident in the school on Sunday. Violet Auma, TV47, Kakamega.
Now, the principal of Barwesa Secondary School in Baringo County opts to wear school uniform to make it easier for his students to approach him whenever they have an issue. Wilson Achoko says the move has helped tone down tension in school, boosted interaction between him and his students, and cases of indiscipline have drastically reduced.
It is assembly time at Barwesa Secondary School in Baringo County. The school's principal is making his way to the grounds dressed in the school uniform. For months now, this has become his daily attire as he strives to ensure he bridges the gap between the administration and the students.
I decided to put on school uniform because it makes the students much closer to me. Students used to want not to come to the office, but when I started putting on the school uniform, they feel very close to me. Yeah, they come, and I also maintain an open door policy, so they are very free with me. They tell me anything that they feel that I need to know. So that is why I started putting on uniform. I wanted to be humble. You know, when they see you that you've come to their level, they feel good about that. All the guidance and counseling that was given to you by the teachers.
The over 400 learners welcomed the idea of seeing their principal dressed as them. This has strengthened relationship between them.
In fact, the first day, I remember when I went to parade, they clapped for me like 5 minutes.
In 2020, Baruesa Secondary was among schools that were affected by student unrest that resulted to the burning of a girls' dormitory. The school principal says the arson was a wake-up call to him as the school administration brainstormed on the measures that will be put in place to address indiscipline cases. It is then that he ditched his suits and embraced the institution's school uniform.
There were some students who were aware of the fire, but they never came directly to us. So I realized that there was need to bridge this gap between the students and myself. So that's when I opted to not only put on uniform, but I also have suggestion boxes. We also have a council of elders among the prefects who are able to solve disputes whenever they arise. So basically, the putting on of uniform is an attempt to stem indiscipline in schools. Many a times indiscipline cases happen because of that gap between the administration and the students. When you close that gap, you are able to get information about their problems. So when they realize that you listen to them, they tend to open up more.
And now the narrative of Baruesa Secondary School is changing. The institution has started recording exemplary performance in their academics. In 2020's KCSE, the school made history by sending 21 students to university, emerging the best performing school in Baringo North, and the school's mean grade continues to be on an upward trajectory.
The school has been doing very well. We moved from 3.7 and then we went to 4.0, went to 4.426, went to 4.7, and then 2020 we have done 5.0138.
Wilson attributes the wave of unrest in schools to school heads not addressing grievances of students on time.
Being close to the students is the main thing that will curb unrest in schools. Many a time, unrest is caused by unhandled grievances.
In the last 3 months, there has been a wave of student unrest in the country that has resulted to schools' properties being damaged. As a consequence, the Ministry of Education announced that students will be expected to go for a midterm break from the end of this week. Sharon Baranga, TV 47.
Now on to political matters, as ODM boss Raila Odinga has for the second day camped at the coast region selling his Azimio la Umoja clarion call in Kilifi County. Paul Kirobi reports.
For the second day, ODM boss Raila Odinga has continued to popularize his Azimio la Umoja clarion call in the coastal region in a move to safeguard his coastal votes ahead of 2022 polls. Odinga's charm offensive in the region comes at a time the region kicked off a move to form a regional party to address the interests of the region. The former Prime Minister accused Deputy President William Ruto for pretending to be a good Samaritan to the poor, yet he looted taxpayers' money and used it to reward church leaders. The ODM boss was accompanied by a section of Mount Kenya leaders, coastal leaders, and a number of legislators who accused the second in command of failing President Kenyatta's administration in delivering his promises to Kenyans.
Unataka kupigana na uhalifu na hii mambo ya ati kwamba kila mtu yote ambaye anasimama pale hiyo ako na kesi kotini. Only qualification ya uongozi kuwa kotini. Lazima uwe iwe kotini. Kwa hivyo tunasema kama umepatiwa jukumu kidogo na umeshindwa, waachia wale ambao wanaweza kazi.
Tunawahi kuwafanyia kazi wananchi mpaka mwisho. Wengine wanazurura huku baada ya kuwafanyia wananchi kazi wanapiga siasa tupu. Lazima tukia kwamba tunalipa mshahara na mshahara wetu tunalipa mpaka 2022 Agosti.
Kenya tuna jukumu kubwa sana ili Kenya ipate heshima katika ulimwengu. Tuonyeshe ya kwamba Kenya haiwezi ikamchague mwizi ama mbokasa ama Amin awe rais ya Jamhuri ya Kenya.
The ODM boss promised coastal people a lot of goodies if elected president next year. Among them, his administration will effectively utilize the blue economy, expand the Malindi airport to international standards, and also solve the land issues affecting the region.
Sisi tunataka kukuza biashara ya utalii. Vile kupanua kiwanja ya Malindi iwe international airport. Ile ndege kubwa naweza kutoka Ulaya, Marekani na kuja moja kwa moja kutabuni. Mimi najua kuna watu walihamishwa pale kiwanjani. Bila waje nafasi kiwanja ikamiliwe.
While a pledge to fight corruption if he clinches presidency next year. Paul